Hello everybody, my name is Nuclear Cubing and welcome to a video called Cubing for Beginners. Now I've been planning this video for quite a while, and those of you who aren't cubers and have watched my reviews may have noticed that there are some words that are a bit sort of weird, like lockups and corner twisting and stuff like that. Well, this video is going to explain all of those words, so if there's anything that you've heard in cubing videos and you don't know what they mean, then this is the video for you, and I'll be linking this video in every video that I make. So anyway guys, I'll see you later in a bit. Alright, so the first thing you might hear is called a main. Now a main is a very simple thing to explain. It basically means you have two of the same cubes, so you can see these are the same cubes. But they're different. But they're from different brands, or they're different versions of the cube. For example, this one here is the Moyu Aolong version 2, and the one here is the Moyu Weilong GTS. Now, out of these two, my main is the Moyu Weilong GTS because that's the one I would use in competitions. That's the one I practice on. So, yeah. So a main basically means you have two cubes. You have two different cubes that are the same puzzles, and there's one you prefer over the other. Now, I might still practice on the Moyu Aolong version 2, but on the whole, I'm going to be using the Moyu Weilong GTS. Now, like I said, it could be from different brands, or it could be just different versions of the cube. But yeah, a main is a very simple term, and yeah, you might hear it a bit. Some of you might be saying, "This is my new main." But so yeah, let's move on to the next thing. Alright, so the next thing you might hear is called an annotation. Now, you might not hear this that much, from reviews, but it's something that you probably need to know for tutorials, and it's called annotations. So, an annotation is if you're solving a cube, you might see a random selection of letters and numbers that look a bit like this. Now, annotations are basically they're basically like set of moves that you would do to the cube. So R would be moving the right side, L would be moving the left side, U would be moving the top, F would be moving the front, D would be moving the bottom, or down, and B would be moving the back. And then if it just says R, then you turn it clockwise, like this way. If it has an apostrophe next to it, that means it's R prime, which means you turn it counterclockwise. And then if there's a 2 next to it, it means you turn it twice. So annotations will come up in solves. They're just a set of moves that you do to change something about the cube. So yeah, let's move on to the next thing. Alright, so the next thing you'll hear is something called an average. Now there are 4 different types of averages you can get. You can get an average of 5, an average of 12, an average of 100, and just an average. And an average means that you have a bunch of solves. Say you have 20 solves, and the fastest and slowest are taken out, and the rest are made into an average. So that means that if I have 20 solves and I take out 2, I'd have 18, and I just find the average of that. And if you're using a site where you can solve cubes, on this sheet it will say average and average of 5, and it will say average of 12 and average of 100. But I don't solve that much on my tablet because I usually solve on my phone. But when I'm recording, obviously I have to use my tablet. And yeah, so that's one thing. So you can see on here that 32 is got brackets next to it, which means that it's the worst one, and 23 has brackets, which means it's the best one, and the rest of these would just be averaged. Now, average of 5 is pretty simple. Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. You only have 5 solves, and then you take the best and worst out of that and average that. Average of 12 and average of 12, average of 12 and average of 100 are the same thing, and you might get a best average of 5 and a best average of 100. They're also pretty self-explanatory. You just get the best 5 solves that you've had and average those. So yeah, let's move on to the next thing. Alright, so the next thing is called algorithms. Now, an algorithm is to do with our annotations that we talked about earlier, and it's when you, and like you know what the annotations mean, they look like this, and what they do is it will change something about the cube. So there's an algorithm that I put up on here. So if I just do the algorithm, you can see that this edge has been swapped around with this edge, and this edge has been swapped around with this edge. Because on the advanced method, you have to make the yellow face, put the corners in, and then swap around the edges. And then this is one of the cases you can get, and you do the algorithm, and you swap the pieces around. Another example is if I do this algorithm, and it's hard to see on the camera, but I'll just do it like this. So this algorithm, you need to flip these two edges. So if I do the algorithm, oh wait, I messed up. Hang on. So it's pretty self-explanatory. Those all always come up in solves, and a lot of people will do it to see what they think of the cube, like their first impressions. I mean, I certainly do, but yeah. So algorithms is a set of moves using annotations which will do something to the cube. For example, swapping around the edges or twisting the corners and so on. So anyway, let's move on to the next thing. Alright, so the next thing is something called corner cutting. So corner cutting is basically when you're solving, you might not have time to align the edges correctly, and you have to make a move, but this layer has been turned like this. And corner cutting is basically when the cube's misaligned, and you can just turn the cube and it will just slide straight through. Now the best corner cutting you can get is 45, which means if you're cutting 45, it means like the cube's turned 45 degrees, and then it will still cut. And there's also reverse corner cutting, which means you cut it the other way. But yeah, corner cutting is quite self-explanatory, or not really self-explanatory, but it's easy to understand. It's when you misalign the cube when you're solving, and you turn a layer and it just cuts right through. So anyway, let's move on to the next thing. So the next thing I want to talk about is lockups. Now lockups is to do with corner cutting, and it's when your cube doesn't have very good corner cutting and it like catches. Oh Jesus! Yeah, that's one of the things that can happen when you have bad locking up. It locks up, so it's really hard to turn. You put so much force into it that the pieces come out. Alright, yes. So it's basically if you don't have good corner cutting, and it takes a bit of effort to cut, or if you go too far, it will just explode. Sometimes it will just stop completely. But yeah, lockups is, and obviously on this cube, because it has good corner cutting, there's not that many lockups. There obviously is going to be a few, but not that many. So lockups is basically when your cube doesn't have good corner cutting, and when you're trying to layer, it just gets stuck basically. Alright, let's move on to the next thing. Alright, so the next thing is called corner twisting. Now corner twisting is when you're doing an algorithm, and then you accidentally twist one of the corners. Obviously not on purpose, but sometimes when you're doing an algorithm, it happens. But yeah, so a lot of cubes will corner twist easier than the others. So you can see on this one, I can corner twist quite easily. So it corner twists a little bit, and so this one is a little bit harder. And these squared off corners really help with it. As you can see on this one, they're curved. And the squared off corners means it's going to be harder to corner twist. And I've never had a corner twist on this cube, but I've had a few on this cube. So corner twisting is basically when you're solving and the corner accidentally twists, and if the corner twists, then you can't solve it. Alright, let's move on to the next thing. The next thing I'm going to talk about is called lube. Now the people who heard the word lube and thought of something really wrong, it is to do with that. It's when you put liquid in the cube and it makes it turn a lot quicker, or just turn a lot smoother. And you can get different types of lube. Like this is called Mara lube. I think that's how you pronounce it. And you get different types of lubricants. There's the cubicle silk or lubrical silk. There's a lot of different ones, but I just had this type, and the cube isn't very good without lube. I mean, actually no, with a lot of newer cubes, it's quite good, but with a lot of older cubes like this one, I do really need lube for this one. So no, lube is liquid that you put inside the cube and it makes it turn quicker. Let's move on to the next thing. Alright, so tensioning, which is our next thing, is basically when you like take a screwdriver or a tensioning tool and I just need to get this cap off. But yeah, if you take off these caps, this one doesn't seem to be coming off. Yeah, there's like a screw in here. Now if you turn this, it will either loosen it or tighten it. Now you might be thinking, well, why don't you just loosen it? Well, if it's too loose, then it can pop quite easily. So you need to find the right sort of balance between it being tight and it being loose, and it makes the cube turn a lot better if you get the right tensioning. Yeah, and you can get tensioning tools. I don't have one on me, but I will get one soon. So tensioning is just if you either tighten or loosen the cube, and it makes it turn better or makes it turn worse. Right, so let's move on to the next thing. Alright, so next thing I'm going to talk about is brands. Now brands is, you can see on this white sticker, it's got this logo on it. Now this is the logo for Moyu, and it basically means, well this is what logo they put on the piece. And this cube's company is called Shengshao, but they don't have a logo for some reason, I don't know. And yeah, there are different like types of brands. You know, like this is Moyu. You can get Shengshao, Gans. What else is there? Goguan. I don't know how to. It's like Goguan something. I can't really pronounce that one. But yeah, a brand is just, you know, a company that makes a cube. Very simple. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, so next thing we're gonna do, we'll talk about shape-shifting. And shape-shifting is, well, I'll let this cube explain for itself. So it looks like a normal Rubik's Cube, right? But how do you turn this? It looks like just silver edges until you turn it. Look at that. Shape-shifting magic just doing its work. Now you can probably guess what shape-shifting is by now. It's just a cube that turns in all different shapes. You can get loads of these. This is the only one I have on hand, but in the future I'll be reviewing more shape-shifting puzzles. They're really fun to solve. It's just this isn't a very good one. I mean, it's alright. It's just I don't solve this that much. Like, because the stickers are coming off and this piece has been pushed inwards. I don't even know how that happens. I can't really remember. It was like a year ago. But yeah, so shape-shifting is when you turn a cube and it goes into all different shapes. You can get all crazy ones that are huge. This is one only everyone has. Alright, let's move on. Alright, so this is my last one, and let's move on to me wrapping it up. Alright, anyway guys, so thanks for watching my video. I hope you learned something about the cubes, and you know, I hope that like now that you watch my videos you can understand them, and I hope you can watch more videos. Obviously you don't have to learn all of these words, but there are a lot of people who obviously don't know a lot of these words. So anyway guys, if you guys like what you saw, you can give this video a like, and if you have any suggestions for videos you want to see in the future, you can comment that down below, and to make sure you don't miss those videos, you can subscribe. So anyway guys, I'm NukeQ Cubing, and I'll see you in the next video.